We are live and all is good in the hood. So, yes, we have got loads of news and stuff coming all over the place to you right now. But the headlines for you guys who can't wait are the 2004 Civil Contingency Act updates, new updates are effective as from today. We're going to go over a little bit about that soon. The UK Crown Courts are 62,000 cases behind. Check this out. The UK Magistrate Courts, 358,000 cases behind. This is from September last year, so already 3 months out of date. Okay, but that's the latest that we have on that. The World Economic Forum slash New Zealand Prime Minister has just stepped down. We'll be looking into her in detail a bit later on in the live stream. The First Minister of Scotland gets her transgender reform bill vetoed by our Prime Minister. Loads of stuff going on. And this is scary. Um, the military now currently using self-storage facilities across the United Kingdom. The price of gold has gone up $127 in 7 days. AstraZeneca shares go from £6,645 a share to £11,200 per share since the rollout of the poke back in December 2020. Yes, sir, it's all gone as mad as hell. Absolutely everything's going bloody mad. So let's have a look at the chat right now. 852. Welcome, everybody. Incidentally, check this out. In the last 7 days since the live stream that I had with Rudy, aka Alaska Prepper, we have gained 1,364 new subscribers. So welcome all of you guys who have just joined the channel. This is probably your first live stream. So just to set the record straight, this is my main job. I am out of work, so I'm relying on this as my income to support my family. I currently live on a Welsh mountain in the middle of nowhere, and I'm getting zero benefits and all of the donations, which help keep us alive pretty much, and the YouTube money too. So if you want to donate, you don't have to. There are links below this video, and it also works on the replay. Okay, so the main thing is PayPal. It really helps. So if you can, great, it's fantastically appreciated. If not, it's absolutely fine. It's all cool in school. So what we want to do now is we're going to hop over here and see whereabouts are you guys watching from. So that would be interesting to see. So it's always interesting. 1,000 people in the chat already. Thank you ever so much for taking time out in your day to be here live and to see this. Yes, the film is an old film back in the 70s called Network. I suggest you look into that. It's a very good film. Oh, check this out. Slave to No Man. Thank you very much for that donation, sir. Much appreciated. I sent you a couple of texts, by the way, mate. So if you can get back to me on that, very much appreciated. And who else is this? This is from John H. Thank you very much for that donation. That's awesome. You guys are wicked. So let's see whereabouts you guys are from. Wow, we got Kansas in America, New York. Wow, Portugal, Darlington. Now there's a place. Oh wow, Derbyshire, beautiful up in Derbyshire. Luton, Exmoor. Speaking of Exmoor and down that neck of the woods, some of you guys may or may have not seen, I've done a recent video about the wild camping escapades, which is currently going on in the land on Dartmoor. Okay, so if any of you guys know any latest information about that, because let me tell you, I'm getting all sorts of conflicting stories about paid access and all the rest of it. So if any of you guys are literally boots on the ground in that area, can you please send me an email? And the email address is below this video. We want to help get the true message out there because we don't want to surround people with false intel. We really want to keep it up to date, okay? So we got someone in Italy. That's amazing. Wow. And also, if any of you guys watching right now also have a YouTube channel and also use StreamYard, can you please send me an email so I can figure out how to slow down the chat, okay? I just don't know. I tried when I was on the air with Rudy, Alaska Prepper, last week, and there was a YouTube video telling me how to do it. I followed the instructions and it just wasn't there. So yes, I really want to know how to slow down the chat. Currently, we've got 1,189 people. That's pretty bonkers in 7 minutes. So it really does help if I can figure out how to slow this down, because I can appreciate the moderators out there. I mean, God bless you all, because it must be a nightmare trying to patrol this. Hello from a field in Petersfield. Oh, I know Petersfield very well, down in the south. Florida, USA. Also, I just want to give a quick shout out to a long-term friend of mine, Pammy. Thank you very much for that donation, sweetie. That's awesome. A good friend of mine, a YouTube channel is called Bibles and Barbells. His name's Anthony. We go way back to 2012. He's just become a granddad of twin boys, man. Absolutely blessed. That's so cool. If you're watching, Anthony, mate, I'm so happy for you, dude. But yeah, we'll keep it tight, because they're on obs in the hospital at the moment. So we got someone from North London. Someone's in the Matrix, which is pretty bonkers. Okay. So what we like to try and do now, for, like I said, all of you new guys who have just joined the channel, what we usually do here on the weekly live stream every Friday is we give a brief description of the headlines, which is at the foot of the video. Then we find out where everyone is, so we've got a good idea, and it enables more people to join the chat, because not everyone can be here bang on 8 o'clock on the dot. So that's what we're doing right now, is we're going through. In a few moments, we're going to be looking at the fuel prices and stuff, so hold on to your hats. You know, we're going to do that in a minute. And then what else is there after that as well? We're going to have a quick look at the markets. The markets have been doing bonkers things, especially in the gold market, which we briefly touched on before. After that, just a few little details about my website and stuff, which is moving leaps ahead right now, especially with the courses. Then we're going to get on with all of the crazy stuff which is going on, not just in the UK, but stuff around the world, which could have an impact to us living here in the United Kingdom. So that's how we're rolling for you new guys. All of the guys who have been with me from the dot, awesome to see you in the chat once again. It's amazing. Pilgrim Prepper, thank you very much. Yep, if you can hit the thumbs up, people, it really does help the channel like you wouldn't believe. It's all about the YouTube algorithms and stuff, and the more interaction videos get, the more they promote it and the more people get to see it. But not just that. When the replay happens after the live stream is finished, people get to see exactly what you've been typing into the chat as well. So everyone learns something. All right. So, yeah, hitting the thumbs up really does help. So nice one, Pilgrim Prepper, for that, sir. From one veteran to another. That is awesome. We've got someone from Houston, Texas. Like I keep saying in live streams, in my opinion, Texas is Zion in America. It is the last stand in the US of A. A lot of you guys in Texas right now know exactly what I'm talking about. So yes, that is cool. Incidentally, speaking of Texas, a good friend of mine I've been following, not for that long, but is an awesome guy, and I'm literally hooked nearly every evening on watching his videos. Okay, there is a link below this video to his YouTube channel, and it's right at the very bottom of the description box. The YouTube channel is called RKX, and he is a Texas boy, and he is literally revealing everything which has been going on, and it is definitely not being mentioned in for mainstream media. Okay, so if you want to know what's really happened historically and what is projected to happen in the near and distant future, that channel is amazing. RKX, check it out. The link is below this video, right at the bottom. Okay, so if you can, if you want to, after the live stream or during it, go on there, subscribe to him. When you watch his videos, the live streams are amazing. If you can just let him know that I sent you there, it really helps, because we're going to be setting up a video together. Big news. So stay tuned for that. There will be updates on me and Jason Brashears from RKX. A good man, seriously good man, and he's doing good things. So let me see. We have got literally people from all over the place. Wow, check it this. Someone from the Isle of Man. So another good friend of mine is over in the Isle of Man, and he does weekly videos. And Funny enough, I missed the one before I come on air tonight. So yeah, I think you guys know who I'm talking about right now. Yeah, Isle of Man, dude. Right, let me see. So where are you guys watching from? Yes, Jason is awesome. And Jem Ray, absolutely. So here we go. I just saw the word Dartmoor. He's gone. Like I say, I really want help and slowing his chat down because I don't know how to do it. I really, really don't. Well, we got some donations hitting. Someone from Lisgard. There's Steve Smith and Robert Attack. Thank you very much for that donation. And also, if you can't or it's easier, the PayPal option is absolutely valid. I do get donations through the week on people who are watching the replay, and it seriously really helps. So the locations are going well. We literally have people from Hungary. You could be the first. Look at this, NL Long Veteran Ex-Militar. Welcome to the channel, sir. And Lisgard in Cornwall, awesome. Yep, my partner's from Cornwall, so we do try to keep tabs of what's going on down there. And I get a lot of people from the live stream in Cornwall. So if you're in Cornwall, like Danielle, awesome. That's cool. So wicked. Ashford in Kent, 1,389 in the chat. Looking good, looking good. Okay, so we do look like we are having a lot of people from all over the globe, okay? Not just in the UK. It's a bit fast. Yeah, the chat is fast. And like I say, if anyone can help, please send me an email. The email address is below this video. How do I enable slow motion or slow mode in the live streams via StreamYard? It's easy to do with YouTube, right? But StreamYard is a different thing. I've been told it's quite complicated. My dear friend, Mike Weapon Collector, I need to contact him after this to see how we do it. Manchester, Warrington. Yes, yes, yes. Check it out. Awesome. Right. So, all right then. Now we've got a rough idea where everyone is. What's the score with diesel? Now, I'm not really interested in petrol. Okay. So if you are petrol, you don't know the diesel, that's fine. But if you guys do know what you're paying for diesel all over the country, it's awesome. Currently here in the middle of Wales, and I live in rural Wales, up in the mountains, we are currently paying 171 per litre for diesel. All right, so be interesting to see what the prices are that you guys are paying watching right now in and around the UK. Right. Okay. 168, 172. Oh, here we go. Thank you very much for that donation. Did you hear about Goldman Sachs loan losses? No, but we are going to be getting to the markets very shortly. But thank you for that. Wow. Check at this. That's cheap for diesel. Wow. Incredible. 160, 179. Wow. So, yeah, we're looking anything. No, that's crazy. Run to the Woods. Hi, brother. How you doing? 175 for diesel. CHF, I believe that is in Switzerland. Yeah, cool. Run to the Woods. Nice one, mate. Julie Cooper, thanks for coming in on board. We're going to have a moderator there. Right, here we go. What have we got here? This is a donation from New Zealand. Awesome. We're going to be talking about New Zealand in a bit. If we all understand that the earth is flat, hey, that's another story. But like my friend Jason said in Archaics, and the flat earth thing, it's important that people go through that to sort of open their mind a bit more. But, you know, everyone's free to believe what they want. But we're not going to kick off a mass argument in the comments about what shape the planet is. Or if you really want to talk about simulation theory, that is another video. But we're going off topic. So we're mainly looking at fuel prices. Wow. Okay, that's fine. Each to their own. New Zealand, we love you. Yeah. Hang tight, New Zealand. You've got lots going on. 1,535 people in the chat. Everyone's coming on board, so that's good. So yes, okie dokie. So the diesel price seems to be anything between the late 50s to the high 70s. That is what we're at right now. This is an historical data capture. This is why I do these live streams, okay? Because right now it is the 20th of January 2023 in the middle of Wales. This is where it's being broadcast live from. So we know where people are watching from. We know how much the fuel prices are. And the reason I concentrate on diesel prices is because we really need to understand the prices of diesel, because without diesel, no one gets anything. The supply chain is mostly run on diesel vehicles. Okay. So if the prices of diesel go up, expect everything else to go up on top of inflation, which I believe personally is way over 20% right now. Okay. The mainstream media are currently trying to lead you into a false sense of security with their figures of 11.1%, something like that, give or take. But the thing is, this is the most important thing to remember, guys, when it comes to inflation. That 11.1% figure does not include food or fuel. So when you consider, I mean, you've been seeing with your own eyes, especially here in the UK, how much the fuel is, okay, and how much the food prices are. You start adding that onto that 11%. Yes, it's easily double, way easily double. And in fact, a lot of people recently, so-called, some of them experts, are saying it's in the low 30s. So lots of us remember what happened in the 70s was inflation was bonkers. If you want to know more about that sort of information, I did do a live stream based on the Great Depression and this year and next year. And there's lots more in-depth analysis about what I just mentioned in that live stream. Okay. So yes, yes, yes. 1,610 in the chat. That's good. Very good. So what we're going to do now is we are going to go over to the markets, because it's always interesting to see what is going on in the markets. And let me just see, we need to get this done. Right, commodities, entire screen. Right, okay. Share. Here we go. So we're in the markets right now. Like I said, gold. The gold is being going crazy. So if we could just have a brief look at the gold live updates right now. Well, you can only see that the price from right down here is just gone, and it's currently tracking. So I looked at the trends earlier. If you look at the 5 years and you look at the prices, it's gone straight up, it's flattened down again, it's gone down, and it does look like it's coming back up on a bounce again. Now, it is pure speculation, obviously, but we are seeing a rise in gold. Okay, so lots of you guys I know invest. Obviously, gold is way out of most people's budgets, but silver is definitely worth investing in my opinion. Don't forget, if you're new to this, okay, the silver, you are going to see spot prices, okay, but there is no way on this earth that you can buy silver at spot price. There's always premiums, and currently, well, it has been for a few years now, the premiums are very high. You'd have to do very well to get a 1 ounce 495 silver coin for anything under £30. Okay, so yes, silver, that looks like it's following the gold trend and it's rising roughly at the same sort of ratio. There is a ratio, but we can't show that unfortunately on here. So we are going down to coal. Now it's interesting because, like we said on the previous live stream, okay, even though the price of coal, as you can see, has gone down, the actual prices are going up big time, and it's roughly equating to £1 for 1 kilo of gold. Now, who would have thought that would have actually happened a few years ago? It's bonkers. It's insane. I wish I knew more about it, but there we are. It is what it is. The prices of gold, coal is at a massive high at the moment. Brent as well. Now, that's something to keep an eye on. I wonder. Oh, let's just come out of that. So at that point, wow, yeah, 44%. Yeah, there is a lot going on. Nothing too crazy. Aluminium. This is my friend John. Look at that. I would sit on it, John, based on what the analysis is showing. So we're moving down. Coffee, pretty much the same. There's nothing been too drastic, but gold is definitely rising. Okay, everything else seems to be not too crazy. Nothing really to mention, to be honest. There's no real point going into analysis, but those are the markets right now. Like I said, which was over there. So that is where we are. So let's just catch up the comments and see where we're going. 1,632 people in the chat right now. So we got Lee from the bug out. Hi, mate. Right. Amazing. So let me continue. Quite a busy show tonight because there is a lot of notes and there's a lot of things to share on the screen as well. So what we're going to do is, if I can, yes, right, okay. So we're going to go over to a screen share right now. There's so many on here. Right, okay. Now, who has seen this before? Okay, the changes to the legislation. So basically, the Civil Contingencies Act is, if you want to really boil it down, it's pretty much the fire button for the government for martial law. Okay, so proper control over the citizens in the UK should there be any emergencies. So before we continue, what we're going to do now is we're going to highlight this area here. The Civil Contingencies Act 2004. Incidentally, this was in the reign when our lovely friend Tony Blair was in power, and this came out then. Is up to date with changes known to be in force on or before the 20th of January 2023, which is today. Okay, so there has been quite a bit of speculation. It's very hard to pinpoint exactly what the changes are because, as you can appreciate, this is a massive document. So for you guys who haven't seen this before, just have a look at the verbiage in there. Now look at this. The meaning or definition of emergency: an event or situation which threatens serious damage to human welfare in a place in the United Kingdom. An event or situation which threatens serious damage to the environment of a place in the United Kingdom. War or terrorism which threatens serious damage to the security of the United Kingdom. Okay, so for the purposes of subsection 1A, the event situation threatens damage to human welfare only if it involves causes which may cause. Now look at all this. This is very important to understand. Okay, loss of human life, human illness or injury, homelessness, damage to property, disruption of the supply of money, food, water, energy, or fuel. Notice that they put money in front of food. Interesting. Disruption of a system of communication, disruption facilities, transport, or disruption of services relating to health. So that pretty much covers anything. And like we said, there's so many things which have happened in 2020. Okay, we could go into in depth about this, but not for this show. But I would say definitely 2020 was a trigger, the same as the Georgia Guidestones was a trigger, the same as 9/11 was a trigger. If you look at the events which unfolded after those three key events which I have just outlined, serious changes have happened, most of all affecting the freedoms of every person on this planet. Okay, so predominantly we're just focusing here on the UK, and yes, it covers Scotland, Wales, England. It's pretty much all there. The meaning of emergency: power to make emergency regulations. Yeah, it's crazy. So a lot of things are going to be coming into force as from today. Okay, so if any of you guys have been reading up on this and been following this closely. Today, it gets implemented. So expect to see some changes, because like I said on the thumbnail of this video, which is the idea is to get people on board, to get this information out to the masses and to encourage everyone to research into this so we are much more better informed. Okay, we don't want to just be sitting back by newspapers and believing the BS which is in those things. Okay, so let me see. We're going to go over to here now. So all of these things are looking pretty bad. So this all sort of comes back to the bad guy, and we're going to look at him right now.
That global energy systems, food systems and supply chains will be deeply affected. History is truly at a turning point.
How true is that? Okay. Yeah. I know every time I see that guy, it drives me nuts, right? So we've been doing a little bit of research into some of this stuff which has been going on. So remember when I said at the start of this live stream that the Prime Minister of New Zealand. Now, what we're going to do now is, if I can do another screen share, let me just put it back onto here. I'm still getting used to how all this live streaming stuff works. So we're going to go back onto share stream now. And if I can find it, where is it? So here we go. This person here, right? Remember this name. Jacinda Ardern, New Zealand Prime Minister, quits citing a burnout. I would say burnout, complete BS. All right, this is mainstream, so we are going to debunk this BS. Okay, so as you can see here, look, he's quitting New Zealand Prime Minister ahead of this year's election. Wow, isn't that extraordinary when we look at the movement of the positions of power? I mean, look what happened to Boris Johnson, okay, and look what happened after that, and look what's happening now. Look what's just happened in New Zealand. And look what happened in Italy. Okay, we are seeing transitions of power in real time. Okay, so if we look into this is just mainstream blah 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 blah. But I wanted to get over a point. Okay, so we're going to stop sharing that, and we're going to go over to something else, which I thought was quite interesting. If I can see. If I can find it on here. Ah, damn it. Right. I'm going to have to come out of that for a sec, and I need to try and find it. Okay, so for some reason, this isn't coming up on the live stream, which is very, very strange. Just bear with me, guys. I need to show this. Right, let's try again. Here we go. I've found it. Now, that person I just spoke about, check this out. Look at this. The Forum of Young Global Leaders Shaping the Future. Okay, this is directly connected to the World Economic Forum, and look who we have here. Okay, yet again we are seeing another change with prime ministers and presidents around the globe, which have been put into place by none other than the WEF, the World Economic Forum. Yes, there seems to be more and more and more of this thing happening around the world right now. Okay, it really is absolutely bonkers what is going on. So looking at that, we're now going to look into this.
Cyber resilience, energy efficiency, privacy, inclusion, and tackling illicit finance. These factors should all be considered when designing and potentially delivering a CBDC that would be fit for the future.
Did you notice halfway through that he sort of went like that? Yeah, definitely scripted 100%. And guess what? He also is a young leader with the World Economic Forum. So as you can appreciate, the World Economic Forum, okay, it is an unelected body, exactly the same as the United Nations, the European Union, and many, many, many others. I mean, the list is insane. And if you want, I can do a separate presentation just on this, okay? So if you pretty much want to take over the world and run it, you need money, you need power, and then you need contacts. Once you get all of these things in place and you are a truly evil son of a gun, then absolutely you can join the big club. As our learned friend George Carling once said, it's a big club and you're not in it. Pretty much exactly how it is. So what we've done was we talked about central bank digital currency on a few live streams over the time. Now, apparently it's supposed to be rolling out in 2025. Now, I have had all sorts of information sent to me saying that everything is already in place. So when you think about it, now this thing is going to need to be migrated slowly into the minds of the masses. There's no way you could literally wake up one day and it will be everything changed. Can you imagine the chaos which will come of that event happening? All right. This thing is going to be slow and surely drip fed all the way around the world in its own special time frames. All of this is planned. There's nothing we can do about it. Okay. The only thing we can do is to just not comply. Do everything we can to slow this process down in order to get more people on board so our side gets stronger and larger, more cleverer and more beneficial to maybe fight back against these evil people doing all of this sort of stuff. Yes, it's very scary. It seriously is. And if you do not know what CBDC is, look into it. Okay, I've mentioned this in a few live streams, and some of it I sort of dabbled a bit of what is actually entailed. But yeah, it is pretty bonkers, to be honest. Like I said, I mentioned to Rudy on the live stream last week, Alaska Prepper. If you haven't seen that, I suggest you watch it. It's really cool. And I shared with him just before we come on there. There's a video, and I wish I thought about it. I could share it with you guys, but I'll definitely show it on the next live stream. And this video was done over 10 years ago, and it is showing exactly where our society is moving towards. Okay. Lots of us are aware of what's going on, but to be honest, you know, in the prepper realm, you know, not everyone is on board with what is actually going on. So what I'm going to do now, we're over 2,000 in the chat. That's awesome. If you can hit that thumbs up, guys, just come out the chat real quick, hit the thumbs up. It's done. It really helps. Okay. If you're watching on your TV sets, there is a way you can do it. I think you just press the up button on your remote, you scroll over, and then you click onto it. Done. It really helps. So yes, let me just see if I can pick up some of these comments on here. Yeah. Here we go. Crash economies, then central bank digital currency. Absolutely. What is actually happening to the economy right now is insane. If you look at the terms quantitative easing, or QE, as some of the experts like to call it, they're basically just creating more and more money out of thin air, issuing it to governments as they've been doing for years, and which obviously these monies have to be paid back with interest, which they get from us via taxes. Now, I've done a little bit of looking around the other day about how many different taxes are there in the UK, and there is a lot more. Again, what I'll have to do is I might try and make a separate video on this, because I can easily go off on a tangent talking about all of this, and we've got lots more information to go. So it's just stuff to be coming out in the near future with some videos I've got planned. Okay, so let me see what is going on here. Right. Okay. Right, so if we're going to go over to this made me laugh. This was forwarded to me because I've got friends from all around the place, and they just keep me up to date with what's going on. Absolutely bonkers when I found out this one. Wow. Let me see, where is it? Why is it really hard to find when I look at this? Here we go. Right, check this out. Who knows this guy here? David Icke. Love him or hate him is like Marmite at the end of the day. But we've all got our opinions on David. What I would like to say is, whatever your opinions are about whether he's controlled opposition or he's not, you can't deny the fact that just by watching some of his content, whether it's recently or like I did back in 2008, it definitely plants a seed, and that seed is to question things. So whether you like him or hate him, just for that reason alone, I think it's incredible that this guy has planted so many seeds in people's minds to get them to question things. That's very important. So this is the official David Icke website. And if you look at this title, which is put on here, military veterans monitoring United Nations troops arriving in the UK to be illegal migrants ready for military takeover. So if we scroll down, guess what? There's my video that I made. UK veterans covertly monitoring immigration. Absolutely. So that was a shock to see that pop up on David Icke's website. So yes, everything is going bonkers. It pretty much is. Okay. So yes, all sorts of things are going on there. Let me just have a quick scroll through the top there. Yes, we've covered that. We've covered that. We've covered that. We've covered that. Like another thing which I said about at the foot of the video, we're talking about the martial law thing. All right. So like I said, we really briefly danced on that about the Act, the 2004 Act. So we're quickly going to pop over to that, and we're going to see if I can find it. And here we are. Yes, it's the current bun, which is quite funny to see. All right. So look at this, right? Where is this? This is when it was published, I'll say. Here we go. So the 30th of January. So 2019, so this is pre for issue. Okay, what is martial law? And Theresa May declared it in the UK, but what does it mean for Brexit? Okay, amid Brexit talks, negotiations, Theresa May is not planning on ruling out the idea of introducing martial law if there is a no-deal Brexit. So we move on. So we look down here and we look at this. Introducing a state of emergency. Now that state of emergency is what the very thing is what we discussed earlier. Okay, and that pretty much is the 2004 Civil Contingency Act, which has just been all updated and been launched today. Yes, crazy, crazy, crazy. So yeah, all the Brexit thing, blah, blah, blah. Now, where did I see that guy? Yes, I did do some looking into him. Well, we'll go over to that in a sec. I think what I'd done was I looked into the guy who wrote this. And that is very, very important, right? So yes. Also, what I mentioned before earlier, which is very, very strange, and I've had 3 separate emails now, 3 separate times, 3 different people from different parts of the country, and they have said pretty much the same thing. You know, the self-storage facilities here around the UK, some of them are called the big yellow storage, or whatever it's called. You've probably got them in your town or city, or you've definitely seen these big storage facilities. Now, the emails that I've been getting, they have been seeing military personnel unloading and putting kit and equipment into these places. Why? It does make you think, doesn't it? Because when we spoke about other things which have been happening across the country with the hotels and ex-MOD sites, which are being used for certain types of people who weren't born in the UK, should we say that? Okay, so we have to be very careful how we mentioned all of this. All right, very, very careful, because you know, talking like this in this day and age, it could get this channel just wiped. All right, so we're trying to build up a picture of what's going on. And if any of you guys have read that really good book, The Art of War, right, it's pretty much what is happening right now around the UK. Excuse me, very sinister what's going on. So we've got all of these different people, all of fighting age between 20 and 30 years old, taking over lots and lots of hotels. Now, most of them do appear to be private hotels, not corporate ones. So you look at like Travel Lodge and that sort of thing. I'm not really sure if yes or if no regarding they are being used, but definitely the private ones, like bed and breakfasts, private hotels, they are literally being bought out by the government to hold these people in. Yes, we've done live streams on this before, and I've done a few videos on it before, and it is absolutely true what's going on. Whether you believe it or not, it is happening. Okay, there's far too many pieces of information just going everywhere with lots of video footage, photographs, all sorts of things. And there was one woman on YouTube, I think her name was called English Rose, I'm not sure. She's actually filmed, you know, going into these places, and you can see what's going on. And there was many others doing it. Maybe they're not sharing on YouTube, but there's definitely all of that information which is being shared outside of YouTube. And let me tell you this, from what I've seen, it's a hell of a lot. Okay, so we have got all of that in place. I did actually see some footage which I talked about in that video, which popped up on David Icke's website earlier, and I've actually seen it with my own eyes. Now, from what I've seen, it's very difficult to see exactly what was in those containers being used. And I've been told by some people, oh, don't worry, it's just United Nations rations for these migrants, etc., which is fine. But there's so many reports of food being delivered to these hotels at night time to feed all of these people. Okay, so can you imagine, you know, the amount of hotels all around the UK? How in the hell are they going to get boxes and boxes and boxes of United Nations rations into them hotels without anyone seeing? But when you look at these places, which are the ex-MOD sites, which are very secure, very hard to get close to see what's going on, there could be all sorts of stuff going on in there. So all of these things happening, all of that little talk about martial law, which we spoke about earlier, which Theresa May tried to look into when all of this stuff was happening back in 2019, pre the issue. Okay, so all of that stuff is going on. Everything is starting to sort of build this horrible, nasty picture, but it's undeniable the feeling and the sense that most people have in the UK that something isn't right, something is going on. You've got to be a brainwashed, blind fool to believe that no, nothing's going on, everything's fine. Fair enough. If that's your opinion, then, you know, fair play to you, mate. Good luck, because you're going to need a lot of luck from how this is looking out. This is here we go. Joe, I love you, sweetheart. Absolutely, yeah, very proud, very proud indeed. And yeah, there's a lot of us, more people than people realize. Here we go. Look at that. If you want to send them questions, capital letters, what do you think they're planning? Well, what I believe is going to happen, the hardest thing is a time frame. But what I do know that all of this is in the agenda to be in place by 2030. Now, obviously, we got 7 years or so to get to there. So how this is going to happen is slowly, all right? So it's very controversial to say the truth on it without getting taken down, okay? But what I do believe is one of the agendas, I believe, was 2050 was, what is it, 100 and something million people in the UK. And I think the 80% of those, or whatever it was, were not, you know, British nationals. So mass migration for sure. So that is looking scary. Yeah, I mean, we could go down a massive rabbit hole about what are they planning. And I don't know the amount of people on here. Well, we got 2,281 people right now. I don't know how many of you think that everything is tickety-boo, everything is normal, everything's fine, don't worry about it, nothing really changes, nothing really happens. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. We shall see. Time will tell. Okay. So here we go. Shout out to London girl. How you doing? Hope you're all well. Oh yeah. Also, I'm trying to think. What was the guy's name? You know when we was chatting privately, and it was Stan Johnson. Yeah, I think it's Stan. He's got his own YouTube channel now. It's changed. So yeah, it's still sticking out the prophecies, which is cool. So yes, bonkers. So also, don't let me forget, in and around 10 minutes time, if any of you guys are having a drink, that's cool. All right. Absolutely, you need to do that. But don't worry if you haven't got alcohol, because you don't need to. All right.
We ain't got no booze. We ain't got no booze.
Exactly. Or you don't need to have booze. Okay. So yeah, don't worry. 9 o'clock, it's all good. All right. So yeah, it's always good because, like I say, we've got all this doom and gloom and negative stuff going on, and yeah, of course it is. It's not BS. You know, we're adults, we're big boys and girls now. We can take it because this is what's going on. All right. Only people who want to stick their head in the sand, you know, leave them to it, because they're the ones who are going to get shafted first. All right. So yes, let me just look through the chat right now. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Also, some of what's going on out there. Check this
You know, in
out.
another life, you'd have made an excellent criminal.
Yes, and you, sir, an excellent policeman.
Yeah, for sure. Right, so let me see what we got here. That's good. So anyway, let's go through this. Right, I'm trying to remember that I don't forget anything. Okay. Yeah, that is very interesting. About what's been going on with Nicola Sturgeon. We know Nicola Sturgeon. If any of you guys are in Scotland right now, can you say so in the chat in capital letters? It's always good to know that we've got our brothers and sisters up north of the border in the house. It's always good. So yeah. Let me see. Oh, the chat's going bonkers. You guys are amazing. Right. Cool. Yeah, cranky. Yeah. Yeah. She pretty much is, isn't she? Yeah. And again, that is another person who has been in public and spent a fair bit of time with none other than Bill Gates. And she is enrolled on a professional level to the Bill and Melinda Gates Association, Nicola Sturgeon. So you can see how all this is tying together. All right. And the more information that we get out to not just us preppers, but everyone that we can help. John, let me just say this quick. Oh, it's gone. Something about Rudy. Yes, I will be doing, but what I want to do is I want to try and keep this format of live streams going on Friday. When I'm going to be interviewing guests and having chats and stuff, I'm going to try and get it through the week. I'm just waiting on a big lump of Ethernet cable to come from a friend of mine. Then I can go out to my command tent and do live streams with people from all over the place. So Jason of RKX is on the list. We've also got Björn, which is Andreas Bull Hansen, as most of you probably know, my friend out in Norway, and many others as well. So yes, there are some of that coming down the road. So yes, what we were saying, Nicola Sturgeon, yes, what a lovely piece of work she is. Right, so here we go. We are going to look at that now, just briefly. Oh, it's really hard because they put all these in different orders. Here we go. And share the screen. Right, okay, so we have got the Beeb again. So obviously, you've got to sift through this, okay? So look at this, the gender bill. So when we look at all of this stuff, this nonsense, in my opinion, and I don't care what you say, right? Everyone has got their right to freedom of speech. And I am exercising my right as freedom of speech. All of this stuff you're seeing with this nonsense is a bad thing. Now look at this. I can see it here. It's been highlighted already. It is the first time a Scottish law has been blocked for affecting a UK-wide law. So this is history, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first time this has happened, okay? So all of these different things which is going on with this gender reform. So let me have a quick look. The current system. Now look at this. This is what's going on currently, okay? So yes, they're urging people to stand up and, you know, be proud to change sexes and all of this sort of things. It's scary because on the face of it, it's pretty much like the BLM movement. On the face of it, if you're asleep, you know, it seems possibly plausible, and a lot of people are scared to stand out from speaking out against this. Okay, they want to go along with the flow so they don't get singled out. Very, very dangerous thing to go into. Okay, it's scary. I just don't like anything of it at all. Look at this. In theory, only a small number of people would be directly affected by any reforms, with the NHS estimating that the transgender people make up about 0.5% of the population. So if it's such a small minority, why is all this happening? Okay, it is absolutely horrible what's going on. Check her out. Destroyer of human rights. Yes, it is. There she goes. This is Jimmy Cranky right there. Look at this. Oh, here we go. The Scottish LGBT plus. We lovingly now refer to those people as the alphabet people because there's so many silly letters that make up their crazy organization, have been described by the current gender recognition process as outdated and dehumanizing. Right, I've had enough of this already. Dehumanizing. So do you think it's okay for cross-dressers, men, going to schools and touching children and things like this? Do you think it's okay for boys to go into girls' toilets just because they identify as whatever? I believe that is a very slippery slope. And some of the things that I've been hearing from parents, what's been going on in schools, it's worse in America from what I'm led to believe currently. It's really, really bad what's going on in America. It's so bad, it'll make your hair stand up on end. It really, really is. And if anyone's got any information on stories which they've witnessed with their own eyes or something they've heard friends talk about that they've seen, please send me an email below and we'll try and get that out and some intel reports maybe over this week, because this is a very hot topic and I did sort of dibble dabble whether or not to talk about this, because stuff like this talking about on YouTube is very, very sensitive. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make people aware of what's going on so we can prepare for our own safety and well-being. That's all my goal is on this channel. Okay, but what I'm trying to do is I try and push it right to the very edge and not overstep that mark. It's very easy to overstep that mark, right? So we're going to be very careful what we say. So I can imagine, you know, yeah, I've heard that R word as well. It's crazy. It just makes me feel sick. It really, really does. So like I'm saying, yeah, all of this stuff that's coming down the line, it really, really is not good. Okay. Like I said, you won't believe what's coming. So all of this stuff is actually coming down the pipeline, as it were. Okay. Yeah, I don't like it at all. So let me see. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hop over Fog 360. Hi, mate. Share screen again. Now let me try and find it. It's on here somewhere. Right. Okay. Who remembers the poll tax riots? Okay. Yes, this absolutely happened. in the UK. Look at this, 25 years ago. Wow. So if people want to try and force change, unfortunately, these are usually the tactics which gets resulted to. Okay. It was just insane. I remember seeing all that on the news, etc. And when you have absolutely had it up to here, you are going to see plenty of this. Okay. You are going to see plenty of that. And I believe you're going to see lots of that this year. Wow. Yeah, this is real life. This is actually what happened. Okay. All of this stuff really did happen. I mean, when you consider all of these images here, all right, and look at what happened in the protests back in 2020, what did you see? Well, I'll tell you what I saw from all of the protests in 2020 was lots of people taking selfies on their phone, and that was it. You didn't see any of this. You didn't see any of this. Okay. But I really do believe that we are going to be seeing lots of this stuff in the UK this year. Guarantee it. The way it's going, it really, really is getting to that point, unfortunately. Okay. Like, you know, if you've just joined and it's been, wow, look at that. We're well over nearly 2,200 people in the chat right now. So I'm going to play this quickly before we have a beer, because this is what that. So this is a little time that we all get together and we all going to have a drink. Okay. So we all need to have a drink, don't we? Because the way things are going and all of that. But it doesn't matter if you have.
We ain't got no booze. We ain't got no booze.
So without further ado, come on, lads, let's have a beer, all right? Because there is a lot going on. And it's nice to have something where we can just take the pressure off, right? So we're going to be doing a perfect pour, as we always do here on the channel, okay? Look at that. Don't forget, guys, it's 9 o'clock. You know the rules, house rules, especially new guys. We all drink together. Cheers. It's been a long time since I've had one of those. Happy days. That's good. Good to see you guys. Anyway, just catching up with the chat real quickly. We got 2,157 people currently in the chat right now. That's awesome to see you guys. So let me see what you guys haven't seen yet. Yeah, we're going to talk about this.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you're looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
Yeah, who remembers that film? Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. Also, that just gives me, excuse me, a bit of a heads up. If any of you guys wanting to learn and progress further, check it out. Right now, below the video is a link to the prepper and survival courses, which I currently offer. I'm currently taking bookings right now, and there's a few dates already that look like they're going to be sold out real soon, and they are the 4-day courses. Okay, it's never been done before, and we've done the 3-day course, but this is an extra day with loads of prepping stuff to learn in there. Okay, so lots of you new guys who are coming into this or waking up recently just don't know what the hell to do. Well, a good thing to learn is skills. Okay, it's all well and good going out and buying all this stuff, having a bag and never using it, because let me tell you this, one day you're going to need to use those pieces of kit and equipment, and because you've had no experience in those, accidents are going to happen, time is going to pass, and you could become unstuck. So if you want to, click on the link below and it will take you straight through to the survival courses, which I'm currently doing. That is absolutely on board and working right now. What else is there to show on this? The chat's hilarious. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. So we're having a quick drink. Oh God, that's better. Well, do you know what? That stuff there, I can highly recommend it. If you haven't had it before,
I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope everybody is well. Right, so what we're going to do now very quickly. Oh, we got another donation. Thank you very much. And that is from John. Here we go. I don't know how I can share that. I can't share on the screen. John H says, can you explain Mylar bags? What you can and can't store, and how to seal them properly. Mylar bags, I don't use Mylar bags myself. I use food saver bags, which are vacuum sealable. Personally, I'm not keen on the idea of using Mylar bags which you can't suck all the air out of, okay? Because you're going to get stuff going in it, even with oxygen absorbers, okay? In my opinion, bacteria only survives where there's air, okay? So if you suck as much air out as possible and you put an oxygen absorber in there, theoretically no air is going to get in there, ensuring your dried food stuff lasts a lot longer. If you start putting dry foods in Mylar bags with loads of air in there, whether there's an oxygen absorber or not, two things. One, there's air in there and you can easily get that punctured and the air, and that's a big problem, okay? And two, like I said, there's air in there and things could spoil. So personally, I vacuum seal my stuff. So there we go. Oh, it's changed. It's up there. There you go. 4x4 fella. Hi, mate. Yeah, food saver, great bit of kit. Honestly, if you want a good vacuum sealer, get a food saver. All right. I know people who have got like the budget ones. I think Aldi done them for a little time. And what's happened is they've gone back to check their prep 6 months or a year later, and loads of bags have blown with all of the air has just got in there. Okay, so in my experience, get the best that you can afford. And one of the best ones out there, I haven't seen any others that are better. They probably are, but Food Saver is really, really good. Okay, that's what I use. I've been using that since 2012. And they've never let me down. Oh. I'm really sorry to say, mate, but I spoke to Lee at the bug out about this way when we started the courses last year, and I don't know. I would say the 2-day course, no, because on the 2-day course, there is like I think it's a 3 or 4 mile walk up and down hills and mountains and stuff, and it's all across over fences and terrains and things. So I don't think it'll be doable in a wheelchair. I'm really sorry, but yeah, I'm really sorry about that, but yeah, it's just not possible because a lot of the courses is all that sort of thing. What about? Oh wow, Lee's shouting. That's in capital letters. What about getting rid of hot air? There's a lot of that about. Yeah, okay. Right, let me see. What else? Right, okay then. So what we're going to do now, we are going to be talking about strikes, okay? No BS, facts, okay? So strikes in England and Wales, this is the teachers, right? So February and March are roughly around 300,000 people, teachers in this union. Out of all of those who are striking, it's unknown, but this is a goal figure to be putting out there. The strikes are as follows. Excuse me. So February the 1st, February the 14th, and February the 28th. Okay. March the 1st, March the 2nd, March the 15th, and March the 16th. Okay. There is going to be strikes by teachers in England and Wales. I didn't get time to go into what's going on in Scotland and Northern Ireland, but I would suggest look into those, especially if you've got kids at school and all that sort of thing. You need to make sure that you're going to be available to look after them, because it's looking like there's no teachers going in on them days, okay, which is going to be a nightmare. Wow. Here we go. I wish I could share these, but I can't. It's a donation. Thank you very much from Peter Pan. And Peter says, can you tell me if the 15-minute cities apply to people with electric vehicles, EVs? I think absolutely. I think these 15-minute cities, they literally are happening. And in fact, that was, excuse me, that was one piece of information just quickly before I go back onto the strikes. Now, I've got a good friend of mine. He lives in Swindon, not Sweden. He lives in Swindon, and he said the rate of change which is going on in Swindon over the last few months is insane. Okay, it's no BS. It's not hot air, right? This is factual. He's actually seen this, and I trust this guy with my life. And what he's telling me is insane. There's so much infrastructure and data cabling and so much things going on. And when you looked at the plan view of the city, you can literally see that there are major food outlets literally 15 minutes apart from each other. So if you wanted to walk from one end of the city to the other, it's going to take you way more than 15 minutes. But on that way, all of these new places have been popping up everywhere. Now, who remembers? I would like to say probably about 2010, if you can remember that far back. Do you remember when Co-op was buying up pubs? Do you remember? I certainly noticed it down south. I don't know about Wales. I ain't got a clue. Wales is a completely different egg to England, right? But what was happening in southern England was the majority of pubs were going bust, and they were being bought up by Co-op. And I thought, well, that's a great idea back in the day, until you start looking at what's going on now with the 15-minute cities. Because what is the biggest problem that shops have in cities? Parking. That's right. So when you look at a pub, okay, you've got a massive big car park for about 30 or 40 cars outside. That's perfect for a shop. I mean, who wouldn't want to have a successful business with loads of room for customers to park their car right outside your shop? Okay, if you haven't got that, it's going to be a big struggle. Okay, it could be the difference between, oh, I'm not walking 20 minutes all the way across the city just to go to that shop because I can't park anywhere. So strategically, what I think Co-op has done is bought up all of these places so they can get customers to park their cars and go into their shops. But if you look at where these co-ops have been positioned over time, it's very interesting with these 15-minute cities, because don't forget, the agenda is for this 15-minute cities is to make sure that people have to walk no more than 15 minutes within their districts, zones or regions, whatever the terminology they're going to end up with, because this is a working project which is in process right now. Okay, the final definitions haven't been clearly defined. They are still working on that. So yes, I digress. So that is what my thoughts are about 15-minute city. Electric vehicles, I think from what I've been looking into, that electric vehicles are going to be taxed within the next couple of years. I did mention it on a live stream, and forgive me, I can't remember the exact date in England and Wales when these times are going to come and go. From that moment on, you will be taxed on using an EV, an electric vehicle. All right, so we're going on to more strikes, which I touched on before. So we're looking at the National Health Service, the NHS, ambulance strikes again. Now, these are seriously important, right? So if you're going to forget these dates, what I'm urging people to do as soon as they can, before they forget, is to write these dates down. Either go to a website, you'll find it anywhere on the internet right now, okay? You need to know when these dates are, because if something happens and you need to get to hospital, anyone in your family or your neighbor or friends or family, and it falls on these dates, forget it. You are going to need to make your own way to hospital, okay? Forget an ambulance. These dates are very important. So you guys write it down, memorize it, whatever it is. So the important dates are for the NHS ambulance strikes in January are the 23rd, the 24th, and the 26th of January, right? Those dates, no ambulances in England. I'm not sure about Wales. Wales is a different thing. February, now check this out. February, if you get ill in February, good luck. So when you look at all of these events that are happening, like I say, you won't believe what's happening on the thumbnail. Okay. Now, all of this ties in, like we're going to come to a conclusion at the end of this live stream. And most of you are going to be with me on this. February the 6th, the 16th, the 17th, the 20th, the 22nd, the 23rd, and the 24th. So most of February, you won't be able to get an ambulance. Okay, so if something really bad goes wrong, and let's face it, accidents can happen. Any one of us can have an accident at any time, and we're going to hope to God that we can get an ambulance ASAP. On them dates that I just read out, there will not be ambulances running. If there are, they're only going to be called for cardiac or serious life-threatening events. Okay, so if you've fallen over and you've broken your rib and you're elderly, I'm sorry, you're not going to be important according to what the NHS are saying. We did mention it on the live stream with Rudy on last Friday. So if you want to find time to watch that, there's a bit more information about exactly what the NHS ambulances are going to answer calls to. It goes on to March as well. So yeah, a 3-month hit with the ambulances. So you're looking at the March the 6th and the 20th. And no doubt there's going to be more dates added to that. So if I was in your shoes, I would try to remember to try and keep updated on when those dates are. It might be an idea if you've got a calendar like most of us have, just put little rings around the dates. And if something happens, look at the date on your watch or your phone, check out that. And if it's a day where there's an ambulance, don't even bother trying to phone 999 and then get through listening to the automated message, which will probably be, and then luckily to speak to someone, only to be told no. You've probably just wasted 5 minutes. You could have been gotten in the car and getting straight to hospital ASA. All right. So very important information there about the ambulances. Also, tying in with that, we've got the nurses. They've not stopped. Okay, they're carrying on. So the nurse strikes again in England, I think in Wales as well in this case, is the 18th and the 19th of January, which is just gone. I can't believe that. It's already gone. Fancy publishing that today. Now, that's quite funny. So also court staff. Now, this is tomorrow, the 21st and the 28th. Like I said right at the start of the live stream, if we go back to that real quickly. Oh, Lordy. There we go. The Crown Courts in the UK, this is September. This is 3 or 4 months ago now, right? 62,000 cases in the Crown Courts currently behind. That was back then, okay? Now check this out. Magistrate courts, where most of the crimes go to. Don't forget, Crown Courts is serious stuff. Oh my God, look at this from Los Angeles. Bless you, sweetheart. Much appreciated. That's very, very kind for that donation. I didn't expect that. You guys are awesome. That's seriously amazing. So yeah, like I said, the magistrate courts, where most of the crimes go to court, right? And this, you're not going to believe this. September last year, 358,000 cases they've not even looked at yet. Okay, so this also ties in with something which I've been noticing recently. Now, I want to hear your guys' views on this. Like, if you want to, like some of you do, send me an email. And the emails, the information that I get, I put out on my Intel update videos to give people the best information which I'm getting, which is being passed on. It's up to you whether you want to believe it or not. It's absolutely fine. I'm not telling you to believe it. You've got your own mind. You're a big boy or you're a big girl. It's just information, and you do with it what you will. But the stuff that's coming through about all of that is absolutely bonkers. Okay, so if you can send me an email related to that, it really, really helps, and we can go about that further. But what I noticed locally in my Tesco's not far from me, okay, was we did have a security guard, very visible. As soon as you go into the front door, you've got those big CCTV things, and he was hunched over on his little bar stool, you know, looking at all of the CCTV monitors. Let me just get this focus. I don't know what's going on there. There we go. Cool. Technology, eh? Yeah, he used to sit there most of the day on his shift in Tesco's monitoring CCTV. And every time that alarm went off at the door, beep, 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 it was pretty good. He'd be on it. He'd be straight there, and he'd be asking to check people's bags. It happened to me once. Yeah, when the alarm went off, I don't know why. And always said he wanted to look at the receipt. That was it. He didn't even look into the bag. So he got my receipt, and I goes, what's the matter? And he goes, oh, I'm just seeing if there's any tagged items which you've got in there, like bottles of whiskey, that sort of thing. And there wasn't. So he goes, oh, no, it's fine. And he let me go. There could have been anything in that bag. He didn't check inside the bag. He just wanted to look at the till receipt. He didn't even look at the bag or in the bag. And let me tell you this, that guy, he hasn't been there for about 3 months now, okay? 3 months, like all these court date things, right? So 3 months ago, I haven't seen that guy, and I'll go there at least 2 or 3 times a week, and I've not seen him there. That chair's been empty, that CCTV's been turned off. And let me tell you this, every time I've been in there, I would hazard a guess and try and do an average, right? Based on I go there 3 times a week, I would hear that thing go off 8 or 9 times, maybe 10 times every time. So 30 times a week, I hear that alarm go off, and guess what? No one gets challenged. No one. No security. People just go. Now, what do you think is going to happen? There's only so much that big companies, supermarkets like Tesco's, Sainsbury's, Aldi's, Lidl's, all the rest of them, there's only so much stock they can actually lose. Now, obviously, there's going to be store detectives, undercover, going around, keeping an eye on shoplifters, all right? But that is where, like I said, the 380,000 people, cases which have been put back on the magistrate courts, shoplifting is going to fall within that category. So in the last 3 months, can you imagine, when the energy prices changed, just when winter started, and again, it's changed this month as well, the prices have gone up again. People are getting more and more desperate because they've got less disposable income. They are going to be put into a situation where they don't care. They need to feed their family, and they're going to do whatever it takes. They don't give a monkeys about what people think of them, whether they're going to get caught, whatever. They're going to go there and they're going to rack stuff from supermarkets. They're going to steal. All right. Like I said, I've heard about 30 times a week that beep, 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 and you look over or whatever and nothing happens. People just walk out. Now, I've been told recently, now this figure could vary. Now, someone told me that I think what's been allowed is up to £100 of goods. Okay. So if you go into a shop and you take, without paying, anything up to the value of £100, nothing happens. Okay. At best or worst, depending if you work for the shop or you're taking from the shop, the goods will be retrieved and you let go, and that's it. Nothing happens. No collating of data, etc. No police are called to investigate. All right. So you can imagine how this is going throughout the UK. All right. It's absolutely bloody bonkers what's going on. It really, really is. So that is the courts, right? So they're striking tomorrow and on the 28th, right, of this month of January. And then to top all of that, to make matters worse, like we said about the 15-minute cities just briefly earlier, transport is very important for all of us, especially guys like us who live out in the rural communities where there is no bus, there is no train, there is no taxi. They're just great big long walks around hills, and that's it, right? There's nothing out here. Well, what's this? Thank you very much for that donation. And yeah, God wins. Amen. Fair play. So yeah, we're looking at rail strikes. Now, February the 1st and February the 3rd, there are going to be rail strikes. Okay, so if you have got a journey planned and it falls on the 1st or the 3rd, right, of February, you might have to replan your journey. Okay, seriously, look into it, because what we don't want is people to just not become privy to this information which is being shared on the live stream. All right, we don't want people to come unstuck. All right, you don't want to be planning to see Aunt Maud, you haven't seen her for 6 months, you want to go and take a food hamper up to her, you got no car, so you go to the train, you get a taxi to the train station, you get there, guess what, they're on strike. Okay, this is part of what prepping is all about, thinking ahead and planning. This is information. If it affects you, great, make a plan. All right, if it doesn't affect you, fine, move on, no problem at all. I'm just checking here quick. Oh, cool. This is from Sharon. Thank you very much for that donation on PayPal. That's awesome. That really, really helps. PayPal is not the best, but it still works, and a lot of people find it really easy. From Heather, Bless you. Thank you very much for that donation, sweetheart. It's seriously appreciated. Yeah, we've still got over 2,000 people in the chat right now. So if you haven't hit the thumbs up, go for it. It really makes sense. And if you like what you're seeing and what you're hearing, there is a good community right here, right now. Absolutely think of subscribing. It really helps. Like I said, there's like 1,300 in the last 7 days, which has just come on board. So if you're new, hi. I hope you're liking the stuff so far. And if you want to, I don't know how to do it on this StreamYard. StreamYard's good, but it's quite limited. I can't do a poll on it or anything like that. Let me know via email what sort of videos you want to see, because there's so many videos that I can do. The last thing I want to do is to make loads of videos that no one really wants to watch. Okay, so some people want to see me do overnight camps, you know, heading off into the mountains, into the woods, up out into the hills, wherever it is, and doing some SHTF training, a bit of leisure camping, cooking some nice food or something like that. But I prefer the training stuff where you're doing survivally things and you're keeping your skills up there. Okay, like I said before, you can see on the bottom of the screen I do prepping and survival courses, and bookings are coming in right now. They're going to be running right up to July this year, and then nearer that time it's going to be upgraded till the end of next year. Okay, so absolutely, it really helps. You know, people come on the courses, and also it's the site where I used to work at the Bug Out, and they got a great survival shop there where people get stuff if they haven't got what they need. So it's really, really cool. That absolutely helps. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, we haven't got much time left and we've pretty much covered everything we need to. If you've got any questions related to anything which you think is relevant to prepping, can you put it in capital letters right now? And I'll do my best to at least pick out some of them, because we've only got a short time to look into this. Okay, so yes. Oh, another PayPal. Thank you to Sandra. Thank you very much for that PayPal donation. And of course, that absolutely works on the replay as well. So, you know, this live stream will be finishing in about 5 or 10 minutes. If you're watching on the replay, absolutely, if you want to, it seriously helps. It's all good in the hood. And that just goes towards growing what we're trying to do here. And the website is moving along. Now that some money's been coming in via PayPal and stuff like that for some of the courses, we've got certain things which I have to upgrade with the mailing list. There will be some mailing list, more things coming out hopefully this week, because it's gone from 2,500, we've gone up to the next 5,000, and that's going to cost like £20-30 or whatever it is every month just to get that in place. So it's a slow thing, it's building, it's growing. And the more stuff that goes towards this website, pretty soon it's going to be up and running live, because I've been getting a lot of questions about, you know, how's the website going? It's getting there. It's getting there. It's not far away now. Here we go. Here's a question. Where are we at with electronic ID? Biometric IDs are pretty much being used already, but how it's looking for a national ID, I would say within the next 24 months, maybe sooner. Yeah, within the next 2 years, I guarantee it that we're all going to be having some sort of digital ID. They've done a test case in India, like some of you know, which I said on live stream middle of last year now, that India was insane. That was a massive test ground for loads of people from all walks of life. Okay, you got people in Mumbai, used to be Bombay. You got people in the rural areas down south. All of them, no matter what sort of status, because they've got the class system out there, they was all getting these digital IDs done. Crazy. So I reckon within 2 years, mate, that's going to be coming down the road. Right, let me see. Just looking for questions now. Right, here we go. This is from someone called Skygirl. Bugging ideas for those who can't bug out. Well, I've already been saying this for a long, long time. If you are in an urban environment, I think the only safe way that it's going to be a plausible scenario is going to be community. Okay. Ideally, if you've got like a block of houses, I used to live in a block. It was on an end terrace. I think there was 4 houses in a block. Okay, so you've got 4 houses, bit of a gap, another 4 houses, etc. If you can get a situation where you've got all 4 of them houses on the same page, okay, all of you guys prepping, all of you guys have got different skills. You know, if you're fortunate, fortunate enough, the best scenario would be one of those is a doctor, okay, one of those is a mechanic or whatever it is. If there's different skill sets and different levels of preps within that very small community, something like that is very easily defendable. Now, my biggest fear for bugging in an urban environment is security. Okay, you can have a massive multitude of preps in your house, but if you live in a densely populated city, it's only going to be a certain amount of time before someone comes, not knocking on your door, but kicking it in. So you've got to make sure that you can defend your property. And with self-defense items and stuff at our disposal, legalities and firearms and all that sort of things, I think the only option if you are doing that is you have to be creative to come up with solid, good defense for your property. Okay, it's very difficult. Not most of us, I would say a minority of us, have seen this coming for years, made a plan, done something about it, and moved from an urban environment to somewhere where there's less people, okay, where there's less risk to civil unrest. Now, some of you guys have watched me when I was on National Geographic back in 2013, Preppers UK #2. When I was asked by them on camera when I went out on a TV show, what are you prepping for? And it was the fall of the economy and civil unrest. And I do believe that that is still on the cards today. Okay, that's what I'm prepping for. I think the economy is going to go cluster F big time. It's very, very difficult to say when. Very, very difficult. But yeah, something tells me this year there is a lot of people and analysts as well looking at big financial upsets this year. Same, if not worse, than what happened in 2008. So finances and food are going to be your priorities. Okay, that's my belief for this year. So yes, very difficult to say about bugging in. Bo, bloody hell, hot sauce. Hi, mate. How you doing? So yeah, capital letters, if we got any. God, blimey, look, where's some... How can a small person defend? Well, who remembers David and Goliath? There's always a way. Now, there's lots of shorter people, little people out there. It's not about size, okay? Trust me, I've seen little people mess up some big people with my own eyes in my past, all right? Bad time, long time ago, but yes, it's true. How can a small person defend? Krav Maga, that's a good thing. Myself, I've done some martial arts a long time ago. One of them was judo. Judo is excellent. It's a good way that you can get up close and personal with someone. You can decapacitate them, throw them around and all sorts of things, put them in chokeholds, etc. I would say martial arts. It doesn't matter what your capabilities are. Look at a local course and just turn up there. Just watch for the first evening. They're usually in the evenings, okay? So just watch and get a feel for the place. If it feels like there's something that you can benefit from, okay, like the people there are good, they're not too aggressive and too loud and that sort of thing. So if it's somewhere where you think you can actually learn and get help from, absolutely, that would be my advice. Go to a self-defense course. Because let me tell you this, it's all well and good having all of the Gucci kit and equipment and blah, blah, blah. You just got to try and remember, and the same as what I do in survival courses, you have to think that all of the stuff that you're going to need is not with you. So you're thinking worst case, all right? So you've got no knife, you've got no torch, you've got no stick, someone's coming at you with a hammer. You need to learn how to defend yourself, okay? To block, to parry, etc., strikes. You're going to learn all of that as self-defense classes. Now, like I said, Krav Maga is a seriously good one to look into. An old one which I dabbled in was Kempo Jiu-Jitsu, excellent. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is pretty good. That's pretty cool. Lots of people seem to be doing that. Kickboxing as well, okay. Wing Chun is pretty cool. There's loads. I mean, I'm sure some of the martial art guys are probably in the chat right now, but that would be my advice. Like I say, size doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're tiny, if you're a bit tubby, okay. There are ways that you can seriously do something about someone who wants the better of you. Okay, but the biggest thing, which I think is going to help people, is belief in yourself. Okay, how many times have you said, "Oh, I can't do that. I don't think that's going to work for me." You know, the second you say that, you're just telling the universe and God or whatever it is, it's not going to happen. You just stopped it, right? So you've got to get used to saying to yourself, I'm going to do this. No, I'm going to do it. You're telling yourself you're going to do it. You're going to go to self-defense classes. You're going to get really good at it. You're going to get confident. So when you're out in a situation, say if you're a short person, doesn't matter. You're coming back from the shops, you've got shopping bags, you've got 2 or 3 lads come up to you, start pushing you around. You're going to be in a much better situation to deal with it than someone who's had no experience in any sort of self-defense or martial arts. That would be sound advice in the times that we're walking into right now. That's my advice. Take it or leave it. Okay, if you can't defend yourself, you've got all the kit and equipment. At some point, you're going to have to ask some really big questions, and the guys doing it, they're not going to be waiting for answers. All right, is what it is. So there we go. Thank you very much, everyone. We're going to wrap up tonight's show. So we've managed to keep a lot of people here for a long time, and I really do appreciate all of you who have taken your valuable time in coming along this evening. Don't forget, time is the most precious commodity. Time is worth more than any gold, any silver, any amount of tins of bacon grill. Okay, time is precious, and I really do appreciate all of you for coming along this evening. I appreciate every single one of you who's donated, because that seriously helps. Like I said, this is my job. I'm getting no benefits at all. I've got no savings, and we're out here trying to help as many people as possible. And with your kind donations, it's really making a big difference. It really is. So everyone who's donated, seriously appreciate it. Even on the replay, some of you guys on PayPal, that is very important. Okay, that seriously helps. Like I said, you can see at the bottom of the screen the prepper courses. They're up live right now. There is a link below this video. Go onto that, click onto it, choose which course you want, the 2, 3, or 4 day course, and you're going to get zipped in, and we're going to get it done. Okay, it's all good. And last but not least, thank you to all of the moderators who have come along, spent your time. It really, really helps. I don't know how, but I'm going to find a way before next Friday to slow this chat down. So what I'm trying to do is, once I figure it out, I'm probably going to slow it down to every 20 seconds, okay? So you can type in a comment in the chat, and then you won't be able to do anything for at least 20 seconds, because what that will enable the moderators to do is to give them time to go through this, because I can't even begin to imagine what it's like to try and moderate a chat like this. It's absolutely bonkers. So I do try my best to check my emails. I'm getting over 100 emails a day, believe it or not, and it is a lot to go through. Most of them, unfortunately, contain loads of links to videos, and I just have not got the time to watch them. Okay, what I'm interested in is what people are actually seeing with their own eyes, not just some video that someone's made about an immigrant in a hotel or whatever it is. I'm interested in information which is factual and what people are seeing, and they send it to me. And once I see different emails from different people with the same sort of thing, it does look to be a case of pretty much of what's going on. And that's what the information I want to put out there. So, like I said, that's it. We're out of time. And love you all. Thanks very much for watching. Stay funky.